Welcome back to this series, How to Make Money with Binary Options, Part 4, How to Get into a Systems Trading Groove to Make Daily Cash Flow. Now, how do you make daily cash flow? You need to day trade. Okay, now, there are all sorts of approaches to day trading. There are approaches where you can get into a systems groove where you take particular types of trading setups over and over, which is systems trading. Well, systems trading means that you have a set of rules and you just simply execute the rules. Now, a lot of people may not understand that with a system you can't pick and choose, or otherwise you don't have a system anymore. You have to just do the system no matter what you think of the trade, because usually when we start thinking about trades, we're usually on the wrong side of a trade. So therefore, let's take thinking out of it. Let's take emotional thought out of it. And let's just simply do the rules. Now, of course, the rules have to be figured out and refined so they can be dependable. And if you use the most popular systems concept example, you can talk about McDonald's again. I mean, whether or not you like the food or not, it's not the issue. The issue is the system. You have these duplicatable restaurants where you just follow the rules. And if you don't follow the rules, well, as a franchisee, they're going to take away your franchise, which, they can legally. Or if you're an employee, well, if you keep trying to make your own burger, well, you're not going to last very long in a McDonald's, right? And then they start to do things like develop machines and try to automate the process to remove opinions in real time and emotional thought in real time out of the equation. Okay, you have different restaurants, other fancy gourmet restaurants you can go to get yourself a fancy artistic burger. But with McDonald's, you get their burger. Okay, now that's the systems concept. And you know what? When McDonald's first started, they probably didn't have all the details figured out on how to make the rules so clear and defined, and defining a particular hamburger that would be buyable to the masses, where they would just continue to buy this hamburger. They probably had to test and tweak some things over time to get that burger figured out. Now, whether or not you think that burger is any good or not, that's another issue. But over time, the example is that McDonald's has been able to have consistent success. They didn't go for premium quality. They didn't try to make the best burger every time. They didn't invite the employees to get their ideas for making a good burger. Okay, they didn't, try to pick and choose the ingredients in real time. They just simply executed the burger system, and it produced a certain consistent result. Could they have had a better consistent result? Yeah, maybe, if they found that equation. But ultimately, they obtained a consistent result. And you know what they did? When they found they had a consistent result that brought mathematical numbers of sales and profits, according to certain locations and certain marketing campaigns, well, when they saw that consistency of business operation and business output, business sales, and business profits, then they said, hey, we have a formula. Let's just go launch more McDonald's. Let's go launch them all over the place and we'll make more money. So, a similar concept applies here in trading. In order to make money in binary options or trading in general, you need to focus on a consistent, dependable system or strategic approach that you ultimately have to apply methodically, or you can even say the word systematically. If you want to make repeated cash flow, you have to be methodical or even systematic in your approach, in that firstly, you show up every day. You can't just say, oh, I feel like just watching movies all day, so I'm going to skip this day. I mean, you could do that if you want. I mean, you have that flexibility. But in order to make consistent cash flow, you want to get into a groove, a habit. So whereas you feel that you're not complete in that day unless you did your day trading. Okay? Unless you executed your day trading system, or unless you engaged in the market strategically and reacted in an optimal way to price action in real time. And so when you get in the groove, you enjoy. Okay, now if there is an aspect of effort and a certain aspect of boring work. Okay, it's not that boring, but there's a certain amount of diligence and just rolling up the sleeves and getting to work that you have to do each day. If you're going to base your trading efforts based on emotional enticements, like sugar highs or something, which is extremely common, then you're not going to have that consistency of approach. Your emotions you're chasing emotions, so that's what you're going to get. And if you are chasing emotions in the markets, well, the emotion is usually the wrong answer. Now, if you could figure out how to trade the opposite of your emotions, you'll probably do extremely well. All right, but that's another topic for another time. So, getting in a groove is an enjoyable thing. In order to make money in binary options on a consistent basis to be compoundable over time, you got to get into a groove. Now, back to my example before where I said once you find the consistent formula like McDonald's has, and then they rolled out a bunch of McDonald's, then what you do here to make a lot of money in your binary options trading or your regular trading is that you find a consistent method that can output profit. It does not need to be 99% winning. Okay? Those who keep chasing winning percentage usually do not do very well. They usually don't make very much money. You need to find something that just can smash out a profit, net out a profit on a consistent basis. And in terms of a daily cash flow, it has to be a consistent daily basis. Okay. Now, there are different approaches. Some approaches may really do well on certain types of days and not do so well or do poorly on other days. And when you average them all together, it does, super solid well. But then there are other approaches that can actually net out profit every single day. All right. And they may not have some other things that the less consistent system was able to produce and so on. But what we need to do as traders is we need to find the consistency, the as bankable consistency as possible. I don't know if I said that right. We need to find consistency that is bankable as possible, that is extremely dependent. So then all we need to do from there is roll out more McDonald's shops, okay? Which means what? Fortunately, we don't have to get involved in rolling out a restaurant. All we need to do is, as our account grows, we increase our position size. So let's say our account doubles. Well, we increase our position size to match. All of a sudden, that increase in position size based on a consistent system becomes a new McDonald's we just opened of high probability, consistent cash flow. Okay, so in order to make the money in the binary options, in order to make money in day trading or swing trading, we have to get in the groove. And so we need to, in a relaxed way, just do the next step. What's the next step? Well, if you don't have a system, you need to get one. You can buy one of ours. You can make your own, right? I mean, you may be able to get lucky on the first time, right? Or, you can save yourself a lot of time and money. Well, most people, if you don't have a particular knack or talent for it, or you don't care to spend all that time trying to figure out a system. And also there are lots of little details in between and pitfalls to fall into that come from experience. So you can buy a system and learn, and then once you assimilate that system, you're going to learn some principles, and those principles you learn may help you actually design your own system if you want, or even need to later. But when you buy a solid system from us, you put yourself in a very good position to start cash flowing right away. So, hey, why not? Right? But in order to actually make it happen, you have to get the system, learn it. Just do the next step. What instinctually do you need to do the next step? Do you need to study historically more? Do you need to do some historical paper trading? Do you need to start moving on the demo? And just open up the live account and then put on the order, and then instead of putting the order in, do a click, but just don't click on the enter the order button. Just click on the side there and then get rid of the order window so you don't actually put the order in. And so you're pretending the process of trading. You're going through almost all the mechanics in real time, and you're practicing reacting correctly to what you need to do in order to get that system executed correctly. Because there's a lot of mechanics we need to practice and work out, because sometimes there's some strange looking price action, then we need to be able to interpret that and react correctly in real time. Okay, so got to get into a groove, and then after you practice, you start trading, and then you go slow. You start with the smallest position there is, and then you just start getting a feel for this system. And then if you get any other ideas for optimization, you write those down, and then you can look to test those out later, not in your trading, but test those out historically to see if your ideas make sense. And you can make some progress little by little, and then you're going to feel good. You're going to have a at peace, or a more peaceful state of being about trading your system. You're going to feel better, not necessarily emotionally, but in the gut. You're going to feel better. You're going to know that you can now calmly, in a relaxed way, proceed to the next level. And as you start to see yourself being successful, you don't want to get too excited. Okay, you don't want to go hog wild and start throwing your whole account on every position, especially you young guys. And just go nice and easy, because the way to big money is over time and compounding with a optimal money management position size. It's not trying to kill it and crush it, okay? Okay, anyways, before I go off on that tangent. So you just need to start to work it, get a feel for it, get a groove, and then you're going to notice, hey, this is pretty cool. Just keep it nice and even, and then let the position sizing increase in proportion to the account size. All right, that's it with this module.